this week. Got some Django Unchained, of course, and then
Yeah.
the movie chest this week was Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World. Um,
Why do you think they put that last part on the title? Like, did they think that enhanced it, or?
I was thinking
Yeah,
the same
It
thing.
might
I
have
did
been like
wonder
just
about that.
the book title. I don't know.
Oh,
'Cause
it's
I
based
think
off a
I
book.
think it's based on multiple books.
Yeah, it is.
Because it said at the end it said it was based on the novel series.
Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking
Anyway,
it's like the middle of the world. I mean, I guess it's like the new world back
yeah,
then, a little bit, but
Yeah, it's just so far. Like back then, it was the far side of the world. It's just like,
yeah, Brazil and
well, we don't. It's way too far. But nowadays,
unexplored.
yeah. So I guess we'll start with Master and Commander, right? I mean, I don't have too much to say about this
I
movie, but
I don't really either. Like
Yeah,
I thought it was okay, but I don't know. It just kind of felt weird.
no,
I don't know if
yeah,
anybody else got that. I just got a weird vibe the whole
me
fucking
too.
time. I don't know.
Me too.
I didn't so
Yeah,
much get a
Like
weird
the humor for
vibe.
me didn't hit. I feel like there were like
yeah,
just weird like buildups in like dramatic speeches. I don't know. I just remember two, but I don't remember the specific lines. I know Paul Bettany had one, and then Russell Crowe had one too later in the movie. And basically, like the end of the line, like the end of the fucking like the hit of what they were like getting at, just kind of just doesn't make sense. And I
yeah.
like
Felt throwaway.
they like say it as it's like a bomb, like it's really dramatic or
Gotcha.
something. I'm like, wait, what? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like
Yeah,
I should have just wrote it down because
Yeah,
I don't actually remember, so this kind of sounds bad. But like,
no, I remember feeling that specifically in Russell Crowe's speech, where I was like, okay,
oh,
yeah,
the
that's
ship is
fine.
yeah,
England didn't get you guys fired up. Is that what he said?
No,
This ship is England or something?
yeah, that's it.
yeah,
The ship
yeah.
is home. The ship is
I'm like,
England.
wait, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's
I guess
patriotism,
like
boys.
I guess like I didn't know. Like, was that what I was supposed to? Was that what I was supposed to get out of this movie? That like I
Patriotism?
should. Well, I should
Yeah,
like
you nationalist.
sacrifice my own things that I want to do for patriotism or a greater good, or was it to help out my friends?
Yeah,
How
right. Because he
about
goes back to the islands and whatnot.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I guess that's like I tried to. I'm like I should think about this in the way to to help out my friends, not the
Yeah.
patriotism way, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess,
I
like,
could. You
the
can
main-
think that way if you want.
as long
I
as
guess.
your
Like,
friends are patriots, then yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think the
yeah.
main
don't
takeaway
know.
I had was like leadership struggles, or just like the
Yeah, I got yeah.
effects and ramifications of like having to manage people and systems, and like
Yeah.
so. I mean,
Yeah.
You know, one other thing I just like picked up randomly that like just like that I thought of watching this when the doctor's performing surgery on the dude's head or whatever, and somebody just like hands him a fucking coin to help out with the surgery.
yeah,
And I'm like, dude, that guy's getting fucking infected. That's how people die. Like
Right.
that is literally what happened back in the day because people didn't fucking sanitize their equipment, and then like people got infected and died. Then like literally later in the movie, he brings up how like people could get infected, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like
but he knows
you
what
don't
he's
give a
doing.
shit about infection. I guess.
This man's
yeah.
doing surgery on himself, dude. Like, there's
Yeah.
no fucking rules.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop him.
Yeah, that
He's
was
not gonna stop him.
fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just all around how that fucking dude just shot him by accident. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's also like trying to display like harshly realistic like 1800s
Yeah.
boat
Yeah.
living, and it's
I appreciated it that. for that
I
a
did
little
like, I did like the realistic feel of like living on a boat back in the
Yeah.
day. Like
For
that
sure.
was actually kind of neat.
Yeah.
But
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, because when it first started, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get like Pirates of the Caribbean vibes a little bit,
It's
right?
hard
Like
not
we're on a
to.
ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
but then
also
it was
it-
like a little grittier. Yeah.
for sure, it definitely was like more maturely trying to like be inside the processes of a ship, or like
Yeah.
the meticulousness or like the decision making or like the command. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because
Yeah.
this movie came out in '03, which Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, came out in '03 too. And I think
Hmm. Because I had never heard of this movie.
this movie kind of like just slipped under the radar. And I think there were like several factors. One was Pirates just like completely overshadowing it. And it's like, it's obviously it's a different take and a different tone, but it still kind of feels like the same when you're just like shooting cannons and like loading it up
Like
and fucking like battling.
Yeah.
And
Those parts were
initially,
sweet. I enjoyed those.
yeah,
parts.
that is true.
The action was pretty good for the most. The
It's
editing
decent.
got a little hairy, I think.
A
At
lot
the
of
end,
shit
but
blended. Like
yeah.
it was a lot of like grays and blacks and browns in this movie, which is maybe like
Yeah.
truthful to the time of just like when you don't have good
Yeah.
lighting, shit just looks terrible, you know. But like,
Grim.
it doesn't make like for a visual like a feast for you, you know. That's for sure.
At the
True.
beginning, when they have the intro about how like Napoleon Bonaparte's like taking over Europe and shit, and then like they show Russell Crowe as like the captain of the ship. I'm just like, is Russell Crowe gonna like pull another gladiator here and take out like the emperor?
Yeah.
Just sail
Napoleon's
back home
actually
and
on that ship.
run by himself? Like, I don't know.
One
Yeah.
ship takes. Yeah.
That's pretty basic. It's pretty like a pretty straightforward movie overall, you know, just like,
Mhm.
and I don't know, there's nothing wrong with that, I'd say, but like it doesn't really like entertain you like it should.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there was an overarching plot, I guess, with the other ship. Like that was their main, I guess, like I don't know, plot line, and then other shit kind of just happened with the people that were on the ship. But like, I don't know. I guess it just felt kind of loose.
It
don't
did. I
know.
mean, in a way
Yeah.
though, I kind of liked it because there were moments
Yeah.
I highlighted here
Yeah,
where
let him like have like realistic, shit happening on the
Encounters and
ship.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
some of the moments I highlighted were like just the casual like laughter that broke out in scenes. Like it wasn't like a packaged joke to like punch at the end of like haha. It was like just like a natural like dudes told like kind
Wait.
of a funny thing and then they just like and like and
You're
that
telling me
added.
Josh Whedon didn't write this?
Not right. It's like not like ding 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 ding. It's just like kind of there and it's like real life where it's just like, you know, people laugh and move on. And it just made me like I want to like incorporate that more into like a writing of it added like a natural nature that like
Yeah.
brought you in.
So like
Well.
I felt that just like in the camaraderie of like the crew.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
I felt that just like them kind of like the singing and
Right.
joking. Yeah.
Russell Crowe's chipper attitude too is like a highlight of this movie as like the captain.
Yeah.
I mean, he went different directions obviously when he had to go like stern and stuff like that, but just like seeing him smile and like be like a good leader emotionally to like the crew too is like smart. I mean, that's just a good character in my
Yeah.
opinion. So
Yeah.
I think a highlight for the movie as a whole is obviously Bettany's character and Russell Crowe's character, and just kind of like the two worlds
yeah,
kind of coinciding and colliding, and kind of where they agree and disagree, and how they can work together. And the
Yeah.
Galapagos is obviously a big like
Yeah. that
center
was
point of
cool.
that, and kind of like curating this idea of like science and kind of faith coming together type situation, if you want to look at it that way, if you want to get real in the weeds with it, I suppose.
it was
But I
also
think that
like
just added a little bit more depth to the movie than it needed, which is perfectly fine because it gave it that extra flavor
Mm.
when it could have just been like just a boat, fighting
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
on a
mission.
boat all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
that
That
definitely
was a
came
good like push and pull.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Somebody had to like call Russell Crowe on some shit in this movie, and it was like nice to have
Right.
like a scientific
That
mind.
balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It yields a lot in like the second half of this movie. Like it's not really there in the first half. It's more about like the process, and then in the second half, it
Right.
really like they really start talking.
When,
And I got
when the curse happens is when it kind of flips and
Yeah.
becomes something more than
Yeah.
just a shit movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was. I mean, it's, that dynamic also is like for science and like government almost like it's like what do we allocate in our time and our resources away from like the main objective of our
Right.
commission, you know. It's like and that's the
Right.
push and pull of it all. And Paul Bettany,
It's
he's
kind of
just a
interesting.
good guy.
Because like I like watching this, it made me think of Star Trek almost. Because like I don't know, in Star Trek they're all on a ship, but
Yeah.
it's more about like exploration and science. I don't know, which is kind of interesting because like they're pretty much all science officers in Star Trek.
Mhm.
Well, kind of. There are some science officers, and then there are like some people who are basically like kind of in the military, but like they're more just like explorers. Like it's not like they're like. So I don't know.
Right. They're
But
there.
I don't know.
from
I was kind
here
of just like getting those
aspect.
vibes, from Paul Bettany
That's
because
true.
he's like into the science aspects and like
Yeah.
adventuring and
Yeah.
researching.
I thought that
And I
like
mean-
child character was a good addition too, because it was like the kid who like loses his arm. I don't know. I like actually felt somewhat connected to this character, and I think he could have easily been like kind of tossed to the wayside.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I thought they wrote him pretty well, and like
Yeah.
both Paul and Russell Crowe's character, like their kind of like mentorship of him
Right.
felt real. Yeah,
And it's a
it was
good balance of both their viewpoints too of that
Yeah.
kid, because
Yeah.
he takes what Paul Bettany's character gives him and kind of uses it, but also blends it with what Russell Crowe has kind of helped mold him into be. It's cool. And then, I mean, by the end of the movie, clearly there's like the cross where, oh, it's the stick bug. Here we
Yeah.
go. Now this is how the worlds can kind
Right.
of.
That's nice little tailoring.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
Dude, like that's I don't know. There was definitely that shot of him like when they're boarding the French vessel, and he's like the one-armed fucking badass, like coming.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was just like, holy shit! Like
yeah, that
they did this
fucking
kid
ruled.
justice.
There
Yeah.
are moments. Yeah. I mean, one of my highlights of the movie really brought like the stakes of the whole situation to it was when like there's the one dude who can't swim back to the boat, and he's just like getting left
my God,
behind,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like the people down below are like cheering, like yeah, like it's like everybody's like captured in that fucking like below decks, and like
Yeah.
there's the one
That
dude that's just
framed
like
the decision so well
Yeah.
of like the one over the many type thing.
right,
It's like,
yeah, that was a great scene for sure.
And I thought it was like good, just like the look that he gave like his first mate or whatever, that older dude, where it's like you can tell it's like that's a hard decision to make.
You gotta
right?
do it
So,
though, yeah, like
yeah.
mhm.
Man, or when that one dude fucking couldn't take the pressure of like leading the rest of the crew and he just fucking
grabs a cannonball.
yeah,
Fuck.
dude.
It's fucked up.
Right in front of the kid that was like, you were.
I
the one
know,
who
like,
said-"
yeah,
it's
it's
like,
like,
damn,
fuck,
fuck you up for
dude.
life. But I was like thinking about that too. I was like,
God.
does he? Maybe he had to know at least one person knew that he jumped off. Like, I guess if you don't find him on the
Yeah.
ship, he's not there anymore. But I
Yeah.
guess you don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah. Also, just I
Fucking
really loved
dark,
the
though.
ending to this movie. I just loved how they just like picked up some instruments and were just like kind of vibing with each other at the end.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like we're on the same little
Yeah.
path together.
The
It's like,
fucking jam sesh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a nice.
Yeah, I like how
little
they did that, like just I don't know, a couple times through the movie.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Nice little way to
Who
send
would have
off
thought you can play a
the characters.
violin like a fucking ukulele? I didn't know that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
Jeez,
like
you're-
even Paul Bettany plays his cello like a bass.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think you can
Fuck.
just do that with any like I think like
These guys were ahead of their
theoretically
time.
you could play like a regular gutar with a fucking bow. It just would sound fucking
Awful.
weird.
Somebody should do it.
Imagine an electric guitar,
Right.
fucking be like nails on a chalkboard.
I'm gonna give this one 3.5 at the moment. Kind of think
That's where I landed as well.
It didn't
think,
push me
yeah.
up to a 4, but
I was feeling like 3. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought it was fine, but
It was
I don't
like-
know. I don't know if I'd really recommend it to anybody.
Yeah,
But it
Sure.
was fine. I don't know. It wasn't bad.
I think I,
thought,
would
like-
recommend it to certain audiences. Like,
your grandpa.
I did recommend it to like 3
Actually,
people because
that is
one
a
of my
good point.
friends.
Because I was talking to my brother earlier today, and I'm like, maybe I should recommend this movie to him because he might like it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Certain
Yeah.
people.
Like my friend's a big fan of Pirates. It's like one of his favorite movies or a movie series. And I was like, you should watch this. I mean, it came out the same year. Pirates just fucking overshadowed it because it's
but
Disney
these guys are against
propaganda
pirates.
bullshit. This is better than Pirates in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
mean,
The first Pirates
It's-
is
but it's niche.
the entertainment
Dead Man's
value of that
Chest
movie
is the
is just,
best.
like,
So
off the charts, in my opinion.
I
What do you say,
agree. I
Johnny
mean, I
Depp?
think
You don't like his take
I
on
agree, or
Jack?
just- That's amazing.
Dead Man's Chest
Oh,
is
Dead
the
Man's
best
Chest.
Pirates. Yeah. And then Strange Tides. We've been through
Yeah,
this.
Yeah,
We've been
I
through this.
recently watched it, and I'm like, I mean, I used
It
to
rips.
shit on Stranger Tides, and I was like,
It
it's
rips.
not that bad. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Give it a second shot.
Yeah,
Bottom
yeah, it's better on
tier,
rewatch.
but
But yeah, even I would recommend this to like Sarah just because she kind of likes those like era type movies where it's set in olden times,
Yeah.
like Outlander type series.
this
Um,
one too, like
Yeah,
there's a line in the movie where it's like, "Oh, these modern times we live in, isn't it crazy?" or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
this one feels like it's like just taking place in that time. It's not like reaching back
definitely.
like some other movies feel like,
It helps that it's contained on the ship, and then they can really dig into what that life felt like,
Yeah.
which was
And you
cool.
just, like,
Yeah,
It was
little
very
little
immersive.
touches
Absorbed in it.
like the new map of Brazil and like that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
the discovery aspect and all that. Yeah,
Right.
really
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
I will
No,
say I was expecting a little bit more because this was directed by Peter Weir, and this is the movie he
Yeah.
made after the Truman Show, which that's a 5-star movie for me. I fucking love that movie so much. And
Damn. Okay.
so I was kind of like hoping a little bit of like, you know, of a more powerful follow up, but it's good. It did the job. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he put like all his concentration into that first ship sequence where everything's just exploding like that. That was so cool.
Mhm.
Like that whole first ship battle. I thought it was very well constructed. And I was hoping the last battle would be the same way, but it felt like it was kind of just like we have to get this done. We don't have much in the budget or as much. So
Yeah, we already did
it
our
felt a
feature
little
one.
sloppy.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just
yeah.
curious, so I just like looked it up. What do you think the budget actually was for this movie?
I'm gonna say it's pretty high because there's a lot of.
78 million.
My guess is this was like before like super bloated Marvel budgets though too. So it was like
Right.
I say like 110. It's still pretty high for that time. I say, but
No,
They
do you
said
have a guess?
I'll split the difference and say like 85.
I guess it's 150. 150
Wow.
million.
high. Yeah.
Wow.
Way higher than I thought. Like
I mean, the
don't
set
know.
Yeah.
design.
Pirates. What was the first
boats.
Pirates?
First Pirates. I'm gonna say 120.
See, I would say 150 for the first Pirates.
Yeah, you're probably right. That shit
Yeah, I can
is.
see that.
There's so
Yeah.
much
Wait,
shit
what did you
going on
guys
in that
guess?
movie. I said 120.
150.
I guess it's 140.
Damn, cheaper
Damn.
than.
Wow.
I will say Pirates made more of their budget.
Oh yeah, Pirates
Yeah.
fucking blew up.
I mean, but even just like their sets and like, I'm just
Yeah, that's what
picturing
I was thinking.
Jack
'Cause I
Sparrow
mean, like,
coming in on his little fucking little boat.
I don't know, like the sets for
cove.
this movie. I
It's
mean,
just
like
so
you probably have a
interesting.
different set for each of like the floors of the ship, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know that much stuff about like how you would make the sets for this, but like
I'm sure they
Yeah.
did.
it seems like you wouldn't have like as much in my opinion, but I don't know. Because it seems like at least like Pirates of the Caribbean probably had like way more sets or like
You'd think.
places they had to go and
Yeah,
shit.
They
But
built a
I don't
fucking
know.
cave at the end, I assume, like for the
Yeah, that's true.
giant ghosts or skeleton sequence or whatever.
That is
Back
true.
when
All the
Disney still
CGI.
did some practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like the set design is probably where a lot of this money went to, like the boats and like all the like
Yeah.
Costumes.
yeah
and-
the costumes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. There were a shit ton of costumes.
Like
Also paying.
And there were
Russell
so many
Crowe.
fucking
Russell Crowe
people.
pocketing
Yeah.
25
Like, I
mil.
mean, like all of those people needed different costumes too. So I mean, like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know. I mean,
they actually
Plus all
went
the
to
repairs of the
Galapagos.
ship. Yeah.
That shit's expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, not bad, not bad. Been on the list
No,
for a
not
while.
bad.
So
No, yeah. I think I'd like revisit it to get that like era fix. You know, definitely. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
if there's,
think
like, too many
personally,
movies in the
I
Napoleonic
don't think I
era.
would. But I think that's
Yeah.
just my different taste.
oh,
I don't know.
fair.
Because, like, I mean,
know.
I thought this movie was good, but like, I don't know. I definitely don't think it was like for me. Which I'm not saying that's bad, but you know,
No,
yeah,
fair enough, man.
Yeah.
it's my taste.
I think like we're at a level of movie watching now where it's like we're trying to like really dig at like why it's good. But if like
Right.
50% of the world watched this movie, they'd think it's shit. They'd think it's so boring and
Yeah.
so fucking long and so
Yeah.
like it's just like no. Like I feel like that's most anyone like 50%
No,
of
you're right.
people's
I think if
reactions.
anyone has like a slight interest in like history, then like you can get on
Yeah.
board.
Yeah,
With
I
this
agree
one.
with that.
Yeah, but if
But
not,
yeah.
woo,
Yeah.
Gonna be a long 2.5
you're
hours.
gonna be stuck on that boat,
Yeah.
nowhere to go.
Get seasick.
You're gonna be
Yeah.
trying to jump off like the second in command or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.